Characters are no longer a thing in WWE. We used to have normal people playing retards, and now, unfortunately, we have retards trying to play as normal people. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Wrestling for your Wwe Nxt review. Again, out with Jake the dog, walking the dog. It is very fucking cold, but I figured, you know what? Time is the most precious commodity. Time is time, and when you're working like 75 hours a week, you need to fit in these vids wherever you can. So I'm going to fit this NXT review out while walking the dog, and we're going to be talking about NXT. Unfortunately, it was week 1, I believe, of Gold Rush for anybody who cares. So basically, NXT, I think they host this every single year, and straight away there's a problem. The problem is, it's Gold Rush, every belt needs to be defended, but NXT either has too many belts, therefore the titles need to be defended over a 2-week period, or they believe that they can't put all the belts on the one show because that'll be too good. They'll be giving you too much. They'll be too generous. You know, like fucking bullshit. Why not just put the 5 matches, the 5 belts on the line? How many belts do they even have? You got what? Tag titles, North American, World, you know, why not just, but then they also add in like the Evolve title, then you got a Speed title. Before you know it, there's like 9 or 10 titles being defended over Gold Rush, so therefore they need to do it over 2 weeks, whereas if they just had belts that fucking mattered, you could easily defend them on the one show and try and make one show half decent, but they don't do that. They attempt to get as much as they can, so they stretch Gold Rush over 2 weeks. Really dumb, if you ask me. But whatever. Right, moving back on to the whole retarded thing. Listen, nothing against Miles Bourne. He's got a disability. He's still trying to make the most of his career. That's great. I respect him for that. Similar to Zach Gowen. We've seen Zach Gowen come into the wrestling business. Guy had one leg. You know, let's be realistic here. How good can you be with one leg? In terms of selling, he was decent. You know, he could sell a clothesline. He could sell moves. He could make it look believable. His offense, though, pretty much just consisted of like drop kicks, insecurities, springboards, you name it. All his offense consisted of moves using his one leg, and that's fine. And I respect Zach Gowen 100%, but Zach Gowen had a limit. Zach Gowen had a ceiling. Zach Gowen had a position on the card. He knew he wasn't going to be world champion or US champion or intercontinental champion. He was kind of just there as like a fairy tale. He was there as like the guy you want to have success, but realistically you know he's not going to achieve it. He was like the biggest underdog. They say that Rey Mysterio is the biggest underdog of all time. Fuck that. Zach Gowen is the biggest underdog of all time, and in my opinion that's how Miles Bourne should be portrayed. But they're not. They're portraying this guy like he's the real deal, like he is a threat. And listen, it's unfortunate, and I'm not saying that he shouldn't try to be a wrestler. I'm not saying if you've got a disability you should let it affect you and not live out your dreams. But holy shit, is this proof that the product is at an all-time low, where this guy is actually getting in the world title mix? And then he tries to cut a promo, can't even speak properly, but we're supposed to believe this guy's going to be a star. You know, look at Hogan, look at Austin, look at Rock, look at Cena. They didn't sound like Miles Bourne. They didn't look like Miles Bourne. You know, they didn't have any of the abilities of Miles Bourne. And it's not like Miles Bourne makes up for it by having like this Hercules physique, or, you know, being an amazing looking guy. He doesn't really make up for it any other ways. You could argue back in the day you could have portrayed him as a heel and maybe not have him speak, similar to Kane, when he just wore the mask and had like Paul Bear speaking for him. Like, there is ways to work around this, but WWE almost just accept it. It's like, oh no, that's just the way he is, and you've got to accept him, or else you're bigoted, or you're you know, a disabled phobe, or whatever bullshit this is. And it's like, fuck me, it's just not working, okay? But just accept that the guy has a disability. He can be used, but he should be used in a certain role. And the role that they're using him in is not the correct one. You know, he could be a silent type heel. Well, if he was silent, if he never spoke, then we wouldn't know. It's like Umaga, rest in peace. Guy didn't speak English for like, what, 3 years, 4 years. Kane, outside of the odd word that he said. He never really spoke English either. You know, we've had heels in the past that don't really say shit. There's no reason why Miles Bourne couldn't have been something similar to that. Or he could just be a guy that is low down the card. But no, WWE are trying to push him. And then when they're trying to put him in a feud with like Trick Williams, how are we supposed to take Trick Williams seriously when he's losing to this guy, you know, with a disability who's deaf? I mean, straight away, that's a massive disadvantage in the ring. Then he's not exactly tall, he's not big, he's not got a big physique, he's not muscly, he's not strong. He's just like this flabby fat, you know, and it's like, what the fuck? Why are they trying to portray this guy like a serious threat in the main event scene? You know, it's fucking retarded. Let's say McMahon did this. I mean, imagine Miles Bourne got added to WrestleMania 17 triple threat match with Rock and Austin, and they're treating him like an equal. They're treating this guy like he's got a 33% chance of winning, just like Austin and The Rock. You'd be like, holy fuck, this is making Austin and The Rock look like shit. The fact that this guy is even somewhat remotely a threat. So, I mean, that's how I feel about NXT. It is dumb. Again, I'm not saying that Miles Bourne can't be on the roster. I'm not saying he can't play a part. But Jesus Christ, why are they having this guy cut promos when he can barely even speak a word? You know, it doesn't make any sense to me. You could try and work around his limited ability and his disabilities, but they don't want to do that because, oh, if we do that, then you know, we're like not treating him properly, or you know, we're holding him back, and we're discriminating against Miles Bourne. And it's like, no, fuck, you know, you try and cover the, if someone's got a weak point or a weak spot or a disability, you try to cover that, you know, you try to make up for that in other areas, perhaps, you know. Like, I don't know, if a boxer has like a weak chin, they will maybe try and develop a style so that they don't get punched, you know. And I know all boxers want to avoid that. Sometimes, you know, boxers maybe have like, look at Rocky, where he's maybe like the left side of his eye is affecting him, so he'll try to change his stance so that the punches that he's on the receiving end of will come from the right, so he's not hurting his injured eye. You know, you can always try and work around whatever your vulnerabilities are, but for some reason, nah, you know, let's have this guy try and cut fucking promos and put him in the main event scene. Like, what are they doing? Miles Bourne should be a jobber, and that should be pretty much all he's capable of doing. Now, you can disagree, you can agree, but we all know in the harsh world, if you want to be honest here and you want to talk about what's best for business, we all know that Miles Bourne being a main event guy is not best for business. But to be fair, neither is fucking Ricky Saints, neither is Obafemi. This promo he cut, I am the ruler, I went to Nigeria, I took a big shit, and I made sure I come back stronger, faster, because I deposited 20 pounds of feces out of my big ass. I am the ruler, I am the king, I will make this my kingdom. Fuck off, you're shite. The guy is shite. Now, he looks good. I mean, he's pretty tall, he's pretty big, looks strong. I've no reason to suggest that he isn't strong, but he can't talk. You know, I look at the people here in this segment, this main event segment. For me, Trick Williams is head and shoulders above everyone else. You know, he's reasonably tall. He's about, what, 6'4", 6'5". He's got a pretty good body. You know, he looks decent. You know, I think you could Trick Williams is believable, in my opinion. And Booker T really puts him over on commentary. Maybe they could have Booker T be his manager if they call him up to the main roster. I think that would be interesting. I'd maybe help him out. Why not? It's worth having a go. Anyway, let's get into this show because I spent too much time talking shite about Miles Bourne. Right, we get Chelsea Green, Tia Hale, and Ethan Page and Joe Hendry. Why they didn't pull the trigger on Joe Hendry when the guy was, you know, super hot when he first came in. He was doing really well. He was getting big clips, numbers, reactions, views, you name it, ratings. And then they just decided, nah, you know what, we'll do nothing with him. We'll drop the ball. We'll keep him in NXT until nobody gives a fuck about him. So that's what they've done there. We had Thea Hale do like this back maneuver. She just kind of did I don't know, just kind of threw her back off the... So someone on the main roster does this move, and I can't remember who it is. Might be like a Sami Zayn or something, but they kind of just like leap, it's like a leap of faith. and they just leap off with their back towards their opponent. So fucking dumb. I mean, they had about 10 minutes to move out the way, but of course they don't. They just stand there ready to catch her because this shit just looks awful and choreographed. It's the same shite every time, especially with the women. It really is bad. And then we get a spot where the men bump into the women. It breaks up Tia Hale's Kimura, and then Chelsea Green hits the I'm Prettier 1, 2, 3. Yeah, match kind of sucked. Mixed tag matches in wrestling don't work. Two different genders in wrestling don't work. Fuck, nothing in wrestling these days works. We then get Lola Face. She's talking with Jordan Grace. They want to challenge Kalani Jordan for the title. I don't really care. Then there's talk of Mr. Iguana. I really don't care. So yeah, that's it. Then we get a sit-down, and Ava Raine then says next week we're going to have normally we have a legend pick out the opponents for Deadline, but we're not going to do that this time. We're going to have John Cena. It's like, what are you talking about? John Cena, first of all, John Cena is a fucking legend, and I feel like what a waste. You know, John Cena, he wasn't scheduled for NXT, but now he's going to appear on NXT. If they can add extra dates for John Cena to do NXT, why can't they add extra dates for John Cena to do fucking more Raws and more SmackDowns? I think they're panicking. I think they realise that Cena's going soon, and they're fucked. He's the last big draw that they've got outside of Brock, and now they're trying to, you know, shoehorn him into things to try and put things over. Why would we care? John Cena's going to randomly show up on NXT with like no connection to anybody, no feud with anybody, no storyline, no history, and he's just going to pick 5 women and 5 men, and that's supposed to be great. That's the best use that we've got of John Cena. If you're going to use him for another date, why not stick him on another Raw or another SmackDown and try and get some more build for his match with Dominic Mysterio at Survivor Series? But instead, you know, they're going to stick him on NXT just so he can pick fucking 5 random names for each match. Retarded. And Ava Raine fucking sucks. I wonder if she's got a disability, because she sucks more than Miles Bourne, that's for sure. Right, then we get Sol Ruka preparing for her match. Sol Ruka takes on Blake Monroe. Blake Monroe, the entire match, works the leg. She takes the brace off. She gets her in like this single leg Boston Crab or whatever. Sits down on it, applies the pressure. Saria's like, oh no, my friend. And she throws the towel in, and that costs her the match. So yeah, Saria, we know she's going to turn heel. What the fuck are they waiting on? It's like, it seems it's the way they foreshadow things. So, like, later on, we get, spoiler alert, Izzy Dame turning on Tatum Paxton. It's like, obviously, people have been talking about this for fucking months. Same thing with Saria. People talking about it for months. Why can't they just do stuff that is actually surprising? Why can't they do stuff that catches us off guard? Like, back in the day, a lot of the heel turns, you didn't even see them coming. You know, because they didn't spend, like, fucking 4 months foreshadowing it and shoving it in your face. You know, it just used to, maybe they would like do something brief, and if you were lucky to catch on to it, then you would. But for the most part, they were actually surprising, because they didn't spend weeks and months bloody showing you right in front of your face it was going to happen. But nowadays, that's all WWE's got. So Saria throws in the towel. Congratulations for her. Then we got the main event segment. Basically, Obafemi talked about how he's a new ruler, going to have this, his kingdom is his, some bullshit like that. Wasn't really listening. Ricky Saints give him the match. Trick Williams comes out and says, well, Ricky, I'm no leaving without that title. I'm never leaving. That title's mine. I'm taking it back. And then Miles Bourne attacks Trick Williams with a chair, and he says, bitch, you bitch. Yeah, so, I mean, that was that. And then he says, I'm Miles Bourne, and I want that title. You know, it's like, can we just bring back Eugene? Can we just get Nick Dunsmore to bring back Eugene? I mean, how much better was fucking Eugene? Eugene was a great character. Oh, you can't have Eugene. It's you're overly sensitive. You're upsetting people. Fuck people. Eugene was great. Eugene was great, and I stand by it. Loved that guy. Oh, maybe loved that guy is a bit strong, but you know, I did enjoy Eugene. It was pretty good. Right then, we get Dark State versus Siobhan Evans and Leon Slater. I do not give a shit. Dark State absolutely suck. People say Dark State is better than Nexus, and I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I was the biggest Nexus fan ever, but fuck that. Nexus shit all over Dark State. Hell, the Core shit all over. Look at the Core. The Core had Wade Barrett, and then like you also had Justin Gabriel, who was like the high flyer guy, I guess, from Nexus. Then you had like Heath Slater, who just looked like the kid from Wendy's, And then you had like Ezekiel Jackson, who was just a brick shithouse. So, I mean, the core was certainly better than this crap, 100%. What did we get next? We got, alright, so Dark State win. I don't really care. Maybe someone else does, but I don't. Then we got Sol Ruka arguing with Saria. Saria says she's going to capture the Women's Speed Championship next week. Nobody gives a fuck, honestly. No, the Women's Speed Championship. I wish they would just speed through every single match, stick it on the bin, light it on fire, because there's nothing worthy coming out of the Speed Tournament, the Speed Championship. Holy shit. Whoever's idea that was, man, deserves to be shot. Right, fourth match, Tatum Paxley with the Cullen versus JC Jane. Essentially, Tatum Paxley's got the match won. The Fatal Influence keep getting involved. Izzy Dame then kicks one of them, knocks him out. Tatum Paxley gets taken to the outside. She tries to get in the ring. The two male members of what they call the Cullen stand in front of her because they're men and they're not allowed to actually physically touch her. You know, because WWE logic for you. And then we get, what did we get after that? We got, what did we get? I can't even remember. Yeah, so then we get Izzy Dame and she kicks Tatum Paxley, and then throws her in the ring. 1, 2, 3. There you go. Holy shit, it is beginning to piss down with rain. But yeah, back to my point. That was it. You know, she kicks her, throws her in. JC Jane hits her finisher. She wins. Izzy Dame, oh, she turned on her. We've seen this coming a mile away. And I'm not taking credit for being smart, but it's like, holy fuck. WWE have been like literally showing you that every single week in NXT that there was going to be a turn here. So then we got a turn. So who the fuck surprised? Nobody. I thought NXT sucked. There was nothing I really liked. There's some hot women on this show. I think Blake Monroe's good. I think Sol Ruka's good. I kind of enjoy Tatum Paxley, but they're going nowhere in this company. This company doesn't allow anybody to be good. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that, guys. NXT, I'm giving it a 1 out of 10. Let me know your thoughts down below. But yeah, that is it. Till next time, peace.